20 seconds.
20?
Yeah.
Whew. How are we doing tonight?
This is the script.
Yeah.
We got the scene one.
Okay.
It's just the standard good evening.
Okay, yeah, good evening. Oh, there we go. New, right, and then go to this.
Introducing Taunton's ones.
Introduce, and what's this? Yeah. Oh, okay, now I get this. Yeah, so we go that there, and then, right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have a look.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, good. Righty. Whew. Many people out there tonight?
Yeah, big crowd tonight.
Big crowd. Ooh, exciting. Right, loosen up.
Most people we've ever had on.
Oh, here we go. Record breaking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Expo 360. My name is Ben, and I'll be taking you through the exhibition for the rest of tonight. So over the course of this evening, we will have lots of different productions from both Bridgwater and Taunton students, and we'll have a look what they've been doing over the last 4 weeks. First up, over at Taunton, we have some portraits that they have done, and here they are. Thank you, Taunton, for those lovely portraits. Now we're going into an in-depth interview that they had to discuss about their portraits and how they did them.
For our first week, we did portraits. How did you come up with your idea?
For my idea, I had a shoot with a music artist, so I decided it'd be a great opportunity to do a shoot to include it in this project, so that's what I did.
What equipment did you use?
I used a wide range of equipment, including cameras, tripods, different kind of lighting, and a backdrop.
What different techniques did you try?
I used a variation of techniques such as long shot, medium long shot, close shot, and then I used low angles and high angles.
And what would you do differently next time?
I'd do some more shots from different angles and maybe adjust the lighting a bit.
Thank you, Taunton. That was some brilliant work we saw there. Some amazing photos and some amazing portraits. Now we'll head over to Bridgwater and have a look at their portrait package. Wow, that was some amazing work from Bridgwater. Once more, some wonderful portraits there and some insights on how amazing some of these students can do. Now we'll head over to Bridgwater's podcast package and have a look into what they have been doing over the last week. I'm Ben, and to my left is Alan. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Alan.
Then we've got Toby.
Hi.
We got Jamie.
I forgot my Roblox password.
That's my line.
Yeah, I know, I nicked it.
And then we've finally got Ryan.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. Also, behind me with the camera, we've got Simeon, and in the edit seat we've got Jelly.
Jelly.
Welcome to Disney Nerds, and I'm your host Hunter, and here today I'm with
Matt,
Megan,
Britt,
And Nathaniel.
Hello everybody, welcome to our short podcast. Today we're going to be talking about films, ones we don't like and ones we do like. My name's Will, I'm joined by Kyle. How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm good, yeah.
And I'm joined by Isaac as well.
Hello.
Oh, guess what?
My life is stupid.
Yeah, right, so
Right,
me and my mate went to Mackey's, right?
Oh, Mackey's.
Mackey's in Taunton, as you do, your vibe, right? As you do.
That's crap.
And he bought a chicken McBurger, or whatever it's called, McChicken. That's what it's called.
The full
Yeah, it gets better. And then his friend, that is a lady, turned up with her friend, and we were vibing, you know, as you do. Sat in Mackey's. He decides to put this chicken burger thing on my car aerial.
Oh, dear.
And drive down the road. And also, there was a Sainsbury's trolley, right? And if you haven't been to Mackey's in Taunton, there's literally a Mackey's, then there's a Sainsbury's right next to it, pretty much, like 2-minute walk, right, as you do. So we managed to fit, she had a Honda Jazz, so we managed to fit a Sainsbury's trolley in the back of a Honda Jazz and just took it for a skirt. Yeah, it was good. And then my McChicken fell off and splattered on our windscreen.
Today we're going to be discussing Disney films. And we'll start off with probably one of the few Disney haters in the room. We'll start with Nat.
I don't fully hate Disney. I personally prefer Pixar films to Disney films because, well, Pixar is just, I think it's cooler, personally. I'm not here for the romanticized fairy tales of the old age.
Is there no way to change your mind and think Disney's amazing?
A film that I am a massive fan of is Seven. It's the dark, gruesome crime thriller about a serial killer who kills in line with a deadly sentence. It's definitely one that I would recommend.
Not every Disney film though is about princesses.
Frozen, on the other hand, is something you will go back to. It's a great film. I don't watch it for the princesses. I watch it for the songs. I watch it for Kristoff, actually.
Oh yes, Kristoff. I agree.
The Meg, I particularly quite like. I think that's quite a good film, to be honest.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Never
watched it.
It's the big shark.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's good though. It's good. Obviously not better. It's not better than Jaws, because that's obviously
Jaws is
always going to be a classic. It's always going to be a good film. But no, the Meg I do enjoy, especially the actors as well. They're pretty good.
They hunt a big shark.
They hunt a big shark. Is that it?
Yeah, they go under like the depth of the water as far as they can go. But the start of the film obviously is a tale about like how a submarine got hit by the Meg, and then obviously like a flashback.
Yeah, why Disney's better than Pixar.
And plus Disney do have amazing songs. Probably Circle of Life. Just saying.
Never watched Lion King.
High five,
Do you not watch
Oh my
Lion
god,
King?
are we going to have an argument about Lion King?
Wait to be king, and his dad dies. He's like, oh no, I have to be king. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Are you saying you were driving someone else's car and not
No, I was driving my car. She was behind me in the Honda Jazz, mate.
There was a very large person in the front
Oh,
seat.
thanks.
Generic, like, if I had to choose a film, I'll probably choose Jumanji.
Yeah, that's a good film.
Especially like the new first one, not the old ones, but
The original is good, but I
preferred
the new one because the new one's just so funny.
Oh, it's just the actors. They fit the characters like so well.
Yeah.
Jack Black is the
He's funny. He's funny.
Girl.
Yeah.
It's
great.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, the second one, it's a bit worse, but I still like really enjoy it.
It's okay. It's
the
front seat.
Yeah, you have.
I'm the smallest skinny bastard.
Front seat.
Yeah, he went in the front. He's like fucking 4'2" over there. Fucking skinny anorexic boy.
Yeah, and I just got the front seat.
How's anorexia?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I can eat anything I want, and I just don't get fat.
I really like Superbad. It's just a classic comedy.
Never watched that.
A classic comedy. the characters.
One of the worst films I've ever seen.
No.
It's
You know what, Matthew? I'm so sorry that you're hearing us argue about everything about Disney and Pixar. What's your favourite?
Well, personally, I'm more towards Pixar right now. It's only one for a lot of fantasy. This is what Disney often go for, and whereas Pixar is a bit more like action and effects. So like they've done Toy Story, The Incredibles, Up, and one or two other things.
Some more like adventurous films.
Yeah, that's. I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with this Disney itself. It's just that Pixar is just my preference.
Don't do exercise though.
Imagine doing exercise. I do exercise. It's called walking to Mackey's.
Come on, we all know you don't walk. You got a car. Just get overwhelmed by everything. Really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that brings our short podcast to the end. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening to our
Thank
little
you.
quick-fire reviews. And yeah, thank you very much.
So I think that's all we have time for today. Join us next week when we discuss how terrible the Matrix film is.
I'm Brett and I'm off. Goodbye.
I'm Nathaniel, I'm off.
This is Matt, goodbye.
And I'm Hunter. See you next time.
And I don't know if we'll be back again or not.
Smash that like button in the face like a boss. This has
And
been
high fives all around. Again, some quality stuff there. To talk more in detail about their own podcast, Idiots with Mike, is Nathaniel, Hunter, and Brett. And we'll hand over to them now.
Welcome to Disney Nerds, and I'm your host Hunter, and here today I'm with
Matt,
Megan,
Brett,
and Nathaniel.
And today we're going to be discussing Disney films. But aren't you aware that the Mandalorian Star Wars series is done by Disney?
Yes,
and many
I know
of the
it's
new
done by
Star Wars
Disney,
films are done by
but
Disney.
Is there no way to actually change your mind?
Because
watch the actual the Disney movies.
I'm not
or...
going to sit there and watch Snow White as she
But
dances
not,
around
but
with
not
seven
every,
dwarfs
but
and then
not
she gets
every
kissed
Disney
by a
film though
random
is about
man.
princesses.
Yeah, it's not.
For example, you've got many other films like
Tangled, Frozen, which you do
But
love.
at the same time, if
they're
you...
still princesses in the end.
Yes, they're still princesses in the end. But I watched Tangled once years ago. That film was released in 2010. That was 11 years ago. I was 6. I don't know what I was properly watching.
Right. From what your arguments, we can tell you're a Disney fan as well.
I'm a Disney fan.
Reasons why?
Well, I said before
She's
speaking
dumb.
in that. No, it's not.
Even though that the original creator of Disney, Walt Disney, is actually gone, they are still bound.
May he rest in peace.
They are
No.
no.
He's a racist.
The old podcast.
Easy.
Yeah, it existed.
It existed.
I wish it didn't.
We're not going to post it ever. But what would you think that? We'll start with Meg. What do you think that we could have done better?
We're gonna get around the
We're
table.
going to say people. So what do you think could have gone better in the first podcast?
I mean, if we didn't swear and actually had a script, but we didn't, so...
Yeah, but a podcast isn't funny about swearing anymore.
I mean,
We went up... Don't go there.
you are the one. Okay, you are the one who swore probably the most after taking an awful lot of the time to yourself.
Yeah, I think like a half an hour of that podcast was just Meg.
Half an hour of the 26-minute podcast.
It's just
was
Meg. Just Meg.
Disney's racist.
Yeah. Anyway, what went well with it?
It didn't go... And I don't think it was great, you know?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I think we should just bin it
Nothing at all.
restart.
Bin it restart.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. From the
Please
Simpsons.
shut up for once.
Right, right. So
Shut
so
up.
is that your full opinion on it? Like
Uh-huh.
nothing went well and it was all completely downfall and miserable.
I mean, yeah, I did all the talking.
All right,
So,
fair enough. I'll agree with you on the whole talking part.
The whole talking part is the point of the podcast.
All right, it is right. Daniel, since you are the other co-host of this,
I would say being more respectful when other people are talking.
you literally called Meg dumb midway through the podcast.
Comedy. That is my argument.
these cameras are rolling, right?
These cameras are rolling.
I've just stuck my fingers.
That's what I have to say. It's comedy.
Right, what went well then?
We managed to ramble a lot.
We did.
Which was that good for the podcast? Had to be 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We got content. Let's say we got content.
In theory as well, by us like rambling and all, we discovered that we actually enjoy recording a podcast.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun.
Which lets us now create idiots of mics, which hopefully will be a weekly thing.
Yeah. It'd be great. I love it. I love just talking.
Selfless self-promotions. Anyway, Brett.
Oh dear, what?
What do you think went well with the podcast?
I didn't talk.
What do you think can be improved in the podcast?
I talked.
Oh my god, so contradicting of yourself.
Thank you very much. That's some brilliant work there. Now we'll go and have a look at some slideshows created by our students over in Taunton. Let's take a look. to take a closer look into their work and their slideshow, here's Brandon, Charlie, and Charlotte.
How did you come up with your idea?
I came up with my idea by doing the research on a photographer called Dwayne Michaels, who specialises in telling stories through his photo shoots.
What did the editing consist of?
For the editing, I used the black and white filter, and because my photograph had signs in it, I kept the colour of the signs.
What would you do differently next time?
I would play around with the angles more and change up the shot sizes, zoom in a bit more and zoom out and change the colour.
I would probably do more planning and make sure each photo has a similar frame.
What was the inspiration for your idea?
I recently watched Western films, so I took inspiration from that into my own.
Did you do any planning?
When it came to planning, I explored my idea through a variety of different mind maps and diagrams to try and figure out which one would be the best.
What equipment did you use and did you try any techniques?
I used a Canon 750D camera from the college. I didn't really focus on my techniques though, no, unfortunately.
What would you do differently next time?
I'd probably try different techniques, different shot sizes, stuff like that.
I would experiment with different angles and different shot sizes.
I'd probably invest more time into the actual project itself, including more frames in between to see more of the emotion of the characters.
Now we'll move on to some quiz shows, where over at Bridgwater, some of the students produce some amazing stuff. Here's a little teaser of some of them.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello and welcome to Sixable, where naming the top 6 can win you a top prize.
I'm your host, Jamie Coleman, and the team to my right today is some random teacher from Bridgwater, Mr. Hardcastle, and with him is the not actually sidekick, but sidekick, Simeon Goodman. On the other team today we have Carl Lane and the redhead Nathaniel Rashenko.
I'm your host, Matthew Lote, and I'm joined by my two teams. Today on Team 1 I have Jelly and Team Captain Jamie. On Team 2 I have Simeon and Team Captain Nathaniel.
Today's contestants is Simeon and Nathan, and today's episode is on popular movies and TV shows.
Nathaniel, you're up first.
I'm incredibly afraid of clowns.
Take it away, Jamie.
Alright, sit. Yeah, so my sentiment is I blew a few gearboxes in my car.
Now, what are the top 6 most watched Disney movies of all time? Please decide amongst your team who will answer this question.
Do you want to answer first? I'll go first. Okay. Yeah, sure. Go for Frozen.
Is that final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's reveal if Frozen is the correct answer. Frozen is the correct answer, and that is 100 added to your prize fund.
Nah, the doors came off. It's like a shirt. It's tipped as well. Yeah.
Well, that noise signals the time is up, and it's the end of the show. So I can reveal.
Romance is not on the board. You have lost all the money you have came here for. Unfortunately, you have lost all 3 lives, which means you are going home with nothing. Thank you for competing on Sixable.
Join us next time for another episode of Master and Bluff and Puff. See you then.
Now, first up, to talk about their quiz show, we have Matt, India, Meg, Hunter, Brett, and Nat.
Hello, I'm Matthew Lote. The thing I'm most proud of so far is hosting Masters of Bluff and Puff. Me and my team were instructed to follow a 5-minute comedy panel format of our own take suitable for a college-age audience. The general decision was to do something based on what I liked to you, because the others were keen on that and I was able to follow along as I knew a bit about the show. We chose to change the name as we don't want the plot to be too much from the real show, and it would define it from another what I liked to you show, which one of the other groups was doing. We came up with the so a script was written for me to do the beginning and the end. On the day of filming, our plan man was off, which left the rest of us a bit unsure on how to set up the show, which led to delay in production. By the time we were sorted, we only had just about enough time for our final shoot, which we managed to do. It was just a bit rushed. I felt like I was talking fast at the time, and I got the wrong name once or twice. I also didn't have time to check the camera angles, so I didn't know which way I was meant to face. I mean, set criticism on the lights as no one else could, and used the stage lights but didn't check to see how that made the shoot. Feedback says the lighting worked on me and Team 2, but not so much on Team 1. Despite that, I am pleased with the show. It was good fun hosting it, and people thought I made a good host. Definitely the best thing I've done so far, and I would be very happy to do it again.
Now we'll move on to how the quiz show of Would I Not Lie to You was made at Bridgwater. And here to show you is Jamie, Will, Toby, Isaac, Blake, and they're all interviewed by Simeon.
Thank you very much, Ben. Let's go on to the first question. So, what was your idea and how did you come up with it?
Our idea was to do a parody version of Would I Lie to You. We titled it not Would I Lie to You. We all agreed, I think, that it was a good quiz show to try and parody, to try and make our own. That was our main idea, and we got that through doing a bit of research about other shows, and then we obviously settled on that one in the end.
Yeah. Did anyone else have any other ideas? Or was that the main one that everyone wanted to focus on?
That was the main.
We pretty much just got it and then agreed on it. And bang.
Agreed on that.
We looked at pointless and all, and it was like, it looks a bit.
It's probably quite hard to do as well.
It fitted the style of like everybody in it as well, like the comedy.
And also everybody's got a story as well, so like it fits.
Yeah.
So it works.
So what research did you take, and how did you develop that?
First off, we obviously looked through all the different TV shows like Catchphrase, Pointless, The Chase, and then obviously Would I Lie to You, just to decide on what one we actually wanted.
Yeah.
And then it was just looking at how they staged it with like what cameras, how many cameras, like the camera angles and everything.
Yeah. Did you make a floor plan for that?
Yeah, we made a floor plan. I think Will.
We put together a floor plan. It gave a bit of like structure to the shoot on the day, so we knew what was where when it came to actually shooting.
So I think the original idea was to get teachers and students, wasn't it? Did anything go wrong with that?
Well, we had to reshoot because we didn't record the audio on the first take. Because we didn't open up the audio program to record it in. So we had to do a reshoot, and some teachers couldn't do it because of the reshoot and timings and stuff like that. So we had to get in different actors. And we also had to rewrite the script.
It's a lot better.
So it was a lot of work. But
yeah, I can imagine. So how did what were the positives of the shoot?
Well, it overall went quite smoothly. Like the switches between the cameras were quite good. The lighting lit up the set well, and we had a comedic effect to it, even though it was sort of scripted. So the whole thing just flowed quite well.
The edit afterwards was really good as well. With the laughter tracks and the like intro.
So like so and so laughs and it's like whereas with the laughter tracks it's a bit like got rid of that time.
And the rolling credits and that as well.
The intro and the credits made it seem more like an actual TV show rather than just us talking.
So what do you think about the final product?
It was alright.
I think
it's just like it could have been better 100%, but it's like for like a first time of doing a TV show, I mean it worked pretty well. The cameras were set out right, they switched to the right one when you needed, and like audio on the second time was alright. Obviously not the first time. And yeah, like I mean, it was quite interesting. But I mean, you know, like it's a TV show, so if you watch TV shows, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know,
yeah, there was obviously a few mistakes here and there, but it still like ran smoothly.
So what do you think you could have done differently, maybe? If you were to do it again?
Well, we were in sort of like a rush the second time round, so there's a few
Yeah.
things left out, like to like tallying up the scores and everything.
Just little things could have definitely been done better.
Having an extra camera as a close-up for the other two contestants, because we had to choose one of them for the main host. So we missed out on that sort of camera.
Stuff like that. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, that's all the questions for today. Let's go back to Ben.
Some great insight there and a great quiz show. Now we'll go over to the other quiz show named Sixables. Here's B, Max, Molly, Maya and Ellie.
Thank you, Ben, and today we're going to brief you on the process and our evaluation on our quiz show, Sixable. We were asked to create and produce a 5-minute quiz show using multi-camera editing, and here's how we did it.
As a collective, we decided we wanted to do something similar to the show Tenable and Family Fortunes. So our first task was researching and watching clips of each show. Here is our introduction to our show.
Hello and welcome to Sixable, where naming the top 6 can win you a top prize. Today's contestants is Simeon and Nathan, and today's episode is on popular movies and TV shows.
After we had a rough idea of what we wanted to do and started coming up with a script and questions for the show, we kept the show related to media by asking questions about top movies and characters.
Now, what are the top 6 most watched Disney movies of all time? Please decide amongst your team who will answer this question.
We then assigned roles and had to think about what our setup would look like and what equipment we needed.
For our first multi-camera shoot, it went very well, and as a group we are very proud of our show.
Our favourite part was the last round, as it was very intense and I believe the most successful out of the rounds. I think this is because the contestants and the host felt more comfortable and confident as the show progressed.
Is action on the board? Action is also on the board. Adding another 100 to your prize fund.
What else is I literally forgot every single
Well,
one.
there's like thriller, suspense, romance. Romance is probably up there.
Romance, yeah.
Go for romance.
We're going for romance?
Go for romance.
Is romance on the board?
No.
Romance is not on the board. You have lost all the money you have came here for.
However, there are a few things we'd change if we were to do it again. We'd use a better camera instead of the camcorder for the wide shots so it looked cleaner.
We would also change the tables and chairs to something more sophisticated to make the show look more professional. We'd also move the contestants' mics closer to them as they were too far away from them, making them significantly more quieter than the host.
Our final critique would be time management, as we didn't have enough time post-production to edit and add sound effects, which would have enhanced and finalised our product, making it more professional.
Despite all of that, the quiz show went very well and was extremely smooth for our first ever multi-camera shoot. I also believe if we did this again with more time, it would be even better.
Right then, we'll now move on to Swedes, which was produced over at Taunton by our lovely students over there. So we'll have a look at what they've made.
Hello?
I know your secret.
About one of the trees of the universe. Is he man or beast?
can't believe. Oh, it's her. Spencer.
Spencer?
Brilliant stuff there. Now we're going to take a look at some human animation pieces produced by our students over at Bridgwater. Here's a little look.
What are you? Are you a bird? Don't. Ding! Oh wait, you're Furby.
Dita. The child.
Finally, to provide a deeper insight and more detail, we'll have a look at the Mario Kart animation piece. So here is Simeon, Alan, and myself, interviewed by Hunter.
Thank you, Ben. And here today I'm with Simeon, Alan, and Ben. Glad you can make it on time.
Yeah, just about.
So, tell me, with your stop frame animation, where did the idea of Mario Kart stem from for your original design?
Oh, that was Ben, actually.
Yeah, that was me. So I think we were just sort of collecting our ideas of what we were going to do for our animation. And then I decided to come up with the idea of Mario Kart and sitting on chairs and going all like the brum brum, just like we are now, almost. Yeah.
Instead of using office chairs, so it's a lot easier.
Oh yeah, it was much easier. We decided to use office chairs. We had three ideas: either sitting on our ass, just going like that, sitting on these chairs, and then we decided to go office chairs because they're much easier to work with.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to move something when it's on wheels than just scraping them along the floor.
So, from what we overheard, you had a lot of problems with like certain like time framing, with like certain things.
Yeah, timing was a big issue. I feel like we needed a little bit more time and it would have been better, but the final product was pretty good.
Well, yeah, but what we had 3 days?
3 days.
3-ish days we had 1 day of planning, then we had a whole day of shooting because stop motion takes a long time.
And then the rest was just editing.
And then it was mainly editing that we spent the next day, even though the editing wasn't us, it was mainly Simeon.
Yeah, we had Simeon doing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, then any like major problems that occurred during the recording process?
I think Simeon's best for this one.
Well, obviously we started recording in the TV or the edit suite, and from there we moved along the whole route. But along the whole route, sometimes there were like scenes we went too fast or like too slow, and we had to speed it up in post. We didn't take enough pictures during the whole thing, so with that was one big problem we had. Was like we had to speed up or slow down at certain points. But other than that, I can't really think of many other things that went wrong. Unless someone else can remember something that went wrong. I don't think so.
Not really, I don't think. Apart from me taking loads of takes of me,
Hey, you took
quote unquote, crashing.
You took a massive loss with that one. We had about 15
retakes.
clips and takes of Ben doing his crash mat scene where he just like throws himself at the floor with crash mats.
So he quite literally cripples himself in the process.
We took break a leg very seriously.
I was very prepared to break something. To be honest.
Yeah, so we kept looking through the footage of Ben doing it, and then he would just look at it and be like, "Nah, I can do better. Nah, I can do better." And so we ended up with like a whole afternoon's worth of just watching Ben just hurt himself, jackass style.
Yeah, way to do it.
So one point at the end of the clip, Simeon has a fire extinguisher. Where did the idea of using that as a prop come from?
That was my original idea not original. It was originally my idea because I wanted a very fast-paced part of it where one of them does the nitrix boost, and so the nitrous, and so we came up with the idea of Simeon grabbing the fire extinguisher and using it as like a jet booster, if you would, to fly down the corridor past Ben, while Ben is just sat there in amazement.
So it's kind of had like a comedic effect as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was comedic effect as well.
And also in the original idea for that was to have like in post-production that we'd add like a little effect going over it.
Yeah, I was going
to get like a boost go across.
Stuff.
But we didn't end up doing that just because it looked better with the original one.
Yeah, I got halfway through and then we decided to can the idea, so that was a few hours gone.
With the editing side of it, how long did that take in general, on average?
Well, I couldn't finish it here. I think I started it with a few sound effects and a bit of sorting out the pictures and frames into like a sequence. But I had to do most of it at home. It took quite a while. It took like a few hours to do it at home. I got home and straight away started it. And yeah, it took like 4 hours maybe altogether for the sound effects as well, because I had to download them and find them as well. So it took quite a while.
I think that is all the questions we have. Ben, do you want to do the outro?
I will see you back at the stage.
Whew. With that, our exhibit draws to a close. Thank you all for watching and coming out here tonight to look at all these wonderful pieces of media. Thank you all and good night.